There is a feeling around you right now. And this is not something small. It is quiet, but it is real. It moves close to your life like soft light at sunrise, gentle, steady, impossible to fake. You may have felt it in a passing moment, in a look that lasted a second too long, in a strange pull you could not explain, in a name that keeps returning to your mind for no clear reason. Stay with me, because this may explain more than you expected. Someone younger than you has feelings that are becoming too strong to hide. This is not simple curiosity. It is not a passing attraction that disappears by next week. It goes deeper than that. It has weight. It has emotion. It has meaning. And if part of you has already sensed it, that part of you is not confused. It is awake. You may have told yourself not to think too much about it. You may have pushed it aside because it felt unlikely, or because life taught you to doubt beautiful things before they arrive. But some truths do not need permission to exist. They simply begin. They grow. They find their way into the heart. And this connection, as unexpected as it seems, may already be growing in silence. So listen closely. The signs are subtle at first, but once you see them, you cannot unsee them. And what comes next may touch something deep inside you, because this is about more than attention. It is about the rare feeling of being chosen again. You may wonder why this would happen to you. Be honest. Maybe there were moments when you looked at yourself and quietly believed your time for this kind of love had already passed. Maybe you told yourself that the brightest part of your story was behind you. Maybe pain, rejection, distance, and disappointment slowly taught you to expect less, to want less, to protect yourself before hope could return. But those thoughts are not the truth of you. They are only old defenses wearing the voice of certainty. The truth is much warmer, much kinder, much more alive. You carry a kind of presence that people feel before they understand. You walk into a room and shift the atmosphere without trying. You speak, and people soften. You listen, and people feel safe enough to be honest. You have lived enough to hold pain without becoming cruel. You have been tested enough to know what matters, and that changes everything. This younger person does not see you the way your fears see you. They do not measure you by the doubts you repeat in private. They notice your steadiness, your calm, your depth, the way your eyes hold stories, the way your energy says more than your words. And to them, this is magnetic. This is rare. This is unforgettable. If this already feels close to home, keep watching in your mind. Because the heart often recognizes truth before the mind is ready to name it. And what feels impossible at first can sometimes be exactly what was meant to find you. This person thinks about you more than you know. In quiet moments, your face enters their mind without effort. In busy hours when life is pulling them in 10 directions, something still brings them back to you. It might be the sound of your voice, the memory of a conversation, the way you made them feel seen without making a show of it, the way your presence slowed their racing thoughts and gave them a feeling they could not easily replace. That is one of the first reasons they are drawn to you so deeply. Around you they feel peace. The world around them may be noisy, fast, demanding, and emotionally messy, but when they are with you, something settles. Their breathing eases, their mind quiets down, their spirit feels less scattered. And in a world full of pressure, peace feels like treasure. Watch the little signs. They may look at you and then quickly look away. They may remember tiny details you forgot you even shared. They may create reasons to be close, to help, to ask one more question, to keep the moment going just a little longer. These things are not random. They are the language of quiet affection. And here is a retention line you should not skip. The smallest signs often carry the deepest truth. Not every heart arrives loudly. Some hearts arrive gently, but they mean every part of what they feel. And if you have noticed a softness in them, a certain care, a special attention that feels different from the rest, you may already be standing inside the answer. The second reason is just as powerful, and maybe even more emotional. You make them feel valuable, seen, capable, important. Never underestimate what that can do to a human heart. Many people move through life feeling overlooked. They are heard only halfway. They are judged too quickly. They are useful to others but not deeply noticed by them. Then someone enters their life and truly pays attention. Someone asks real questions. Someone remembers what matters. Someone listens without rushing to speak. That changes people. That heals people. And whether you realize it or not, that is what you do. You may think your kindness is ordinary. You may think your interest in their life is small. But to someone who is starving for sincerity, your warmth feels like water. Your attention feels like light. When they are with you, they do not feel like they have to perform. They do not feel like they have to impress the world every second. They feel accepted. And acceptance is one of the strongest roots love can grow from. This younger person may smile more around you. They may become more confident in your presence. They may open up in ways they do not with others. They may even surprise themselves with how comfortable they feel telling you things that matter. That is not accidental. It is what happens when the heart senses safety. So if you have felt that this person becomes more alive, more honest, more open when you are near, pay attention. That kind of emotional shift is never small. It means something is happening beneath the surface, and it may already be much deeper than either of you expected. The third reason is something they may not even know how to explain out loud. They are drawn to your essence. Not only your appearance, though yes, they notice you. Not only your style, your smile, or the way you carry yourself, though those things affect them too. What truly keeps pulling them back is something deeper. It is the full energy of who you are. The mix of strength and softness, the wisdom in your words, the grace you built through hard years, the way you laugh after surviving things that should have made you bitter, the quiet beauty of someone who has been through life and still knows how to be warm. That kind of presence is unforgettable. It does not scream for attention, yet it commands it. It does not chase. It simply exists and people feel it. This younger person feels it strongly. They may have tried to explain their attraction in simple terms, but the more they think about it, the more they realize it is not simple at all. It is layered. It is soulful. It reaches beyond logic. And that is why moving away from it has not worked. They think distance will weaken it, but somehow it does the opposite. Their feelings return. Their thoughts return. You return. Stay to the end of this, because the deeper truth is this. Some connections are not built only on chemistry. They are built on recognition. One soul notices something timeless in another and cannot easily walk away from it. That may be what is happening here, and if it is, then this story is only beginning to reveal itself. You may still feel hesitation, and that makes sense. Part of you may be asking whether the difference in age changes the meaning of what is happening. Part of you may fear judgment, misunderstanding, or emotional imbalance. These thoughts do not make you cold. They show that you are thoughtful. They show integrity. They show that you care about doing things with honesty. But age alone does not decide whether a connection is meaningful. Maturity matters. Respect matters. Intention matters. Emotional truth matters. And when two adults meet in a space of genuine care, the number of years between them does not erase what is real. In fact, sometimes different seasons of life create a kind of balance that same-age connections never reach. You may offer steadiness, perspective, and emotional depth. They may bring freshness, movement, excitement, and a hopeful way of seeing the future. You calm what is restless in them. They awaken what has gone quiet in you. That is not wrong. That is powerful when handled with care. Do not let fear make every beautiful thing look dangerous. Do not let outside opinions decide what your heart is allowed to feel before your heart has even finished speaking. Move slowly if you need to. Keep your boundaries clear. Let respect stay at the center. But do not automatically reject something meaningful just because it arrived in a form you did not expect. Sometimes life sends love through unusual doors, and the soul recognizes the gift before the mind gives it permission. There are moments when this connection may already be speaking to you, and if you slow down, you will see them more clearly. Notice how this person looks at you when they think you are not paying attention. Notice the shift in their voice when your name enters the conversation. Notice how easily they light up when you show interest, how quickly they respond, how present they become, how they hold on to small moments as if they matter more than they should. These details are important. They are often the first visible form of hidden feeling. They may ask questions about your life that go deeper than surface talk. They may want to know your story, not just your schedule. Your past, not just your plans. Your struggles, not just your image. And that matters because real affection is curious. It wants to understand. It leans closer. It remembers. This person may see your history not as baggage, but as beauty. Every hardship you survived becomes proof of your depth in their eyes. Every scar becomes part of the reason they admire you. Every chapter shaped the person they feel drawn to now. That kind of attention is rare. And if you have been feeling forgotten, unseen, or quietly set aside by life, this kind of gaze can feel almost unreal at first. But do not dismiss it too fast. Some people enter your life not only to love you, but to remind you of your own worth. That may be part of what this younger soul is doing. They may be helping you see yourself again, not through the voice of doubt, but through the eyes of sincere admiration. There is another layer to this, and it is important. This connection may be waking up something in you that has been sleeping for a long time. Maybe hope, maybe desire, Maybe the ability to imagine love again without immediately preparing for loss. Sometimes a new person enters your world and does more than offer affection. They return a missing piece of you to yourself. Around this younger person, you may feel more alive than you expected, more open, more curious, more present. You may catch yourself smiling after a conversation, replaying a look, feeling energy rise in places where life had become routine. This is not foolishness. It is aliveness. It is your spirit responding to possibility, and possibility matters. When someone brings enthusiasm, belief, freshness, and emotional courage into your life, they do not only affect how you feel about them, they affect how you feel about your own future. That is why this bond can feel so powerful. It is not just about romance. It is about renewal. It is about remembering that your heart is still capable of movement, excitement, softness, and trust. If you have been living in emotional survival mode for too long, this kind of energy can feel almost shocking. But it can also be healing. Do not rush to label every feeling. Do not rush to deny it either. Let it breathe. Let it show you what it is. Because some connections arrive not to disturb your peace, but to expand it. And if this one is doing that, then it deserves your honest attention, not your automatic fear. At the same time, stay grounded. Openness does not mean losing wisdom. Feeling something does not mean you must force an outcome. Let the connection grow naturally. Let conversations unfold without pressure. Let your energy soften without becoming careless. Love grows best where there is space, not tension. If this person senses too much fear in you, they may hold back even if their feelings are real. They may worry you see them only as inexperienced, too young, too uncertain, too risky. And because of that, they may hide what they feel behind politeness, friendship, or distance. But emotional truth has its own gravity. It keeps returning. It keeps asking to be seen. If you want clarity, create warmth. If you want honesty, make room for it. A softer tone, a more open look, a little less distance. Sometimes that is enough to tell another heart, you are safe here. And that kind of safety can give courage. Remember this line because it matters. Love does not always need a dramatic invitation, but it does need emotional permission. Not pressure, not performance, permission. A sense that it will not be shamed for existing. If there is something genuine between you, your openness will not create it from nothing. It will simply allow what is already there to breathe in daylight. And when that happens, even a quiet connection can begin to show its true shape. You are not being loved in spite of your age. You are being loved with your age fully included. That matters more than you know. The years you have lived are not a flaw in this story. They are part of your beauty, the lines on your face, the changes in your body, the calm in your reactions, the depth in your eyes, the patience in your voice, the strength in your boundaries, the softness in your understanding. All of it tells the story of a life that has been truly lived. And to the right person, that is not something to overlook. It is something to cherish. This younger person may see richness where you only saw time passing. They may see beauty where you saw imperfection. They may see elegance, mystery, resilience, wisdom, and emotional depth where you had become too familiar with yourself to notice them anymore. That is one of the hidden gifts of being deeply seen. It can restore your self-image. It can loosen the grip of old criticism. It can remind you that you are still radiant in ways that have nothing to do with youth and everything to do with presence. So do not insult your own light by calling it too late. Do not diminish yourself before life even has the chance to surprise you. Some forms of attraction are shallow and fade quickly, but this does not seem shallow. This seems personal, intentional, soul level. And when someone younger sees you with that kind of tenderness and admiration, it may be because they are seeing what you have forgotten to honor in yourself. You may be thinking, what if I am reading too much into this? What if I want it to be true? What if I am only seeing what I hope to see? Those are fair questions, but hope and intuition are not the same as fantasy. Fantasy usually avoids reality. Intuition notices reality before the facts fully speak. So look at the pattern, not just one moment. Has this person shown unusual care more than once? Do they return to you again and again? Do they seem emotionally affected by your presence? Do they listen differently? Remember differently? Reach out differently. Hold eye contact in a way that feels full, not casual. Patterns tell stories that single moments cannot. And if the pattern is there, trust yourself enough to notice it. No one is asking you to become reckless. No one is asking you to hand over your heart overnight. This is simply an invitation to stop pretending you feel nothing when something meaningful may already be unfolding. Here is another line to hold on to. Sometimes the heart whispers long before life speaks clearly, but the whisper is still real. Give yourself permission to observe without panic. to feel without shame, to stay open without becoming naive. You have the wisdom to do that. And perhaps the deeper reason this message lands so strongly is because some part of you already knows. Some part of you has felt the shift, sensed the pull, noticed the attention, recognized the tenderness, and is waiting for your conscious mind to catch up. This connection may also be arriving to teach you something about receiving. Many people know how to give love. Fewer know how to receive it without guilt, fear, or disbelief. Maybe you are one of those people who learn to be strong, dependable, helpful, mature, always the one who understands, always the one who carries the emotional weight. But being needed is not the same as being adored. Being respected is not always the same as being desired. And perhaps life is bringing you a connection that asks you to accept more than responsibility. It asks you to accept affection, attention, tenderness, admiration, real pursuit. That can be harder than it sounds. Sometimes being loved well feels unfamiliar, and what is unfamiliar can feel unsafe at first. But unfamiliar is not always wrong. Sometimes it is simply new. If this younger person is sincere, then they may be offering you a kind of emotional mirror, one that shows you not as tired, used up, overlooked, or too late, but as captivating, meaningful, and deeply worth knowing. Let that possibility sit with you. Let it challenge the old story. Let it open a window, because a heart that has been strong for too long also deserves to be held with gentleness. And if life is finally bringing you that kind of energy, maybe your task is not to run from it. Maybe your task is to learn how to receive it without apology. That may be one of the biggest shifts of all. And yes, there is still a choice. Always. You are the author of what happens next. If you decide this connection is not for you, that is your right. If you choose to move slowly, that is wisdom. If you decide to explore it, that is also valid. Nothing in this moment needs to be forced. This is not about pressure. It is about clarity. It is about naming what may already be true so you can respond with honesty instead of fear. If the feeling is mutual, let respect lead. Let communication stay clear. Let your standards remain high. Let the bond prove itself over time. Real love is never harmed by patience. What is real grows stronger when handled with care. And what is only fantasy fades when asked to be genuine. So you lose nothing by staying awake, open, and grounded. In fact, that is where your power is. You do not need to chase. You do not need to perform. You do not need to become someone else to deserve this. You only need to remain present enough to notice what life is bringing close. Sometimes a door that felt shut for years opens without noise. No announcement, no warning, just a quiet shift. A little more light, a little more possibility, a little more warmth than yesterday. This may be one of those doors. And if it is, the most beautiful thing you can do is meet it with honesty, not disbelief. So carry this with you now. You are still magnetic. You are still desirable. You are still capable of stirring deep emotion in another person. You are still the kind of soul someone can think about at night and smile over without even realizing it. Someone younger may already be doing exactly that. Their heart may beat faster when you enter their thoughts. Their mood may lift when they hear from you. Their attention may keep returning to your energy because something in them feels safe, inspired, fascinated, and emotionally moved by who you are. This is not small, and it is not something you need to laugh off just because it arrived in an unexpected shape. Keep your wisdom, yes. Keep your boundaries, yes. But do not close the door before truth has even had the chance to knock properly. Let life surprise you. Let love come in the form it chooses. Let your heart remember that it was never forgotten, only waiting. If this connection is real, clarity will keep revealing it. The signs will grow stronger. The feeling will become harder to dismiss. And if you choose to welcome what is honest, steady, and respectful, you may find that this chapter holds more beauty than the ones you thought were your best. Stay open, stay calm, stay aware, because sometimes the love you thought had passed you by was only taking the long road to reach you at the exact moment you were finally ready to believe you deserved it. And if you feel something stirring in you now, do not silence it too fast. Sit with it, breathe with it, let the truth settle where fear used to live. Maybe this connection is here to bring romance. Maybe it is here to heal your self-worth. Maybe it is here to remind you that your life is not behind you, that your heart is not finished, that tenderness can still find you in a real and unexpected way. Maybe it is here for all of that at once. What matters is this: you are not too late for love. You are not disqualified by time. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are a whole, living, feeling soul, and the right person will not be scared of your depth. They will be drawn to it. They will want the real you, the thoughtful you, the imperfect, glowing, healing, becoming you. So step into this next season with a softer heart and a clearer mind. Let the past release its grip. Let old rejection stop writing your future. Let admiration teach you something new about your own beauty. And if someone younger is indeed reaching for your energy with sincerity, do not answer from old pain. Answer from truth. Answer from wisdom. Answer from self-respect. Answer from the quiet part of you that still believes something beautiful can begin. Because it can. And if it already has, then maybe all that remains is for you to stop doubting the light and finally allow yourself to stand inside it.